Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to Alan, your hero. This is Butterfly Spirit 314. Make sure to remember that. That's her YouTube. And we just want to let y'all know right now, it's okay not to have kids.
You're right, it is.
Want to go ahead and explain to them a couple things? Miss Butterfly Spirit 314, go ahead and tell them.
Um, so, well, I don't even know where to start.
Okay, I'll kick the door off the hinges right now. This is where to start. When people say, you're selfish because you won't have kids, sounds to me like, this is what I hear. You're not miserable like me. You didn't make the same mistakes I made, so therefore, I'm going to tell you that you're selfish because you wasn't selfish like me. So, you're selfish, basically saying this. I don't like the fact that you got your freedom. You're selfish for having your freedom and not giving up your freedom like I did. Now you have anything to say?
What I have to say about people thinking that you're selfish because you don't have kids, I guess it just goes into the fact that people are selfish who do have kids. I mean, there's people who want a little them running around, somebody that looks like them, a little mini-me. That's what they want. And the thing is, though, is that how exciting is it to have that little mini-me when they're screaming at the top of their lungs in your house and you can't get any peace. Let's say you have to work on something for work or whatever, and you really got to get this done, but then you have, maybe one kid, two kids, or three kids screaming at the top of their lungs. I mean, you would go insane, and you can't get away from them because they're your kids and they're always going to be there, but you decided to have the kids. That's one instance. You can't have any peace when you have kids. Now, some people say, well, I know people that have kids and their kids are quiet. Well, that's in a very small minority of people who have kids that are quiet. You would have to train your kids to be quiet, or you have to occupy your kids by doing something. But kids have so much energy that you have to do something to keep them entertained if they're going to be quiet, okay? If you don't and you just yell at them and say, be quiet, they're going to keep yelling and screaming and doing whatever they're doing because they might get used to you, not doing what you say you're going to do. So if you say, well, if you don't be quiet, then I'm going to hit you. And you just always sit on your ass all the time and you don't get up and you don't go and explain to them why they should be quiet, then of course they're going to keep doing it. They look at your actions. And if you never care at what you say, they're not going to, quote unquote, try to help you out. Kids, they can be cooperative. They may be able to do that, but you have to be a good parent. You have to be the type where you actually think about the fact that, the kid, all they want to do is that they just, maybe they want to go outside, and maybe they want to go to the park or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you say, well, no, I don't want to do that. Well, then when you want to do something, they're not going to do it. It was this funny instance where me and Aaron went to Walmart, and this lady had this little girl. I think she had two kids, but one was like a little baby girl. I think she was about maybe one. And so the little girl was crying, throwing a fit. And
with snot coming out of her nose. She was really going at it.
Yeah, and then she was telling the baby to be quiet and everything else and stuff, and because the child was being loud and crying and everything and fidgeting and everything. And so what happened is that, what did the little girl do?
She said, so she tried to put her in the cart. The little girl said, boom! She kicked that cart so hard, the cart said, spun around. It hit another person, matter of fact. That was behind her because she was in the line checking out. And then mom started crying. Picked her right back up, started crying. She was crying, the baby was crying.
Well, but that's what she wanted, though. The thing is that with kids, you have to know it's going to take work. If that's what, if you want to have kids, you want that little mini-me. Well, do you want that little mini-me when it's throwing a fit, when you're in a checkout lane and they're crying like that lady. Do you really want that? Do you want all that attention when a child goes and screams at the top of his lungs, flops all over the floor, and gets mad and everything like that? When they want this toy and you won't buy it, and they go and try to embarrass you in front of everybody because you're not going to get it and shit, and you ain't got the money and stuff, and you feel like you got to get it because everybody's staring at you. I mean, do you really want that? Do you want to have to, like, if you're thinking about having a baby, do you really, really want to take care of a baby? You know, yeah, people say babies are cute. Oh, the babies are cute. And yeah, they're cute to look at in pictures when they're all dressed up and stuff. But then what about when they're crying? I never seen a video of somebody who, you know, they're saying the baby is cute and adorable when the baby's up there screaming and throwing a fit.
Because they want somebody to join their misery. So they can be baby buddies. But
You
not
know-
happy baby buddies. They're going to be sad baby buddies. Depressed ones.
I mean, the thing is with it is that people need to realize when you have kids, it's no longer about you anymore. I see so many, and I see a lot of women walking around, and either they'll be pushing a stroller, and you need black girls and white girls. And when I say girls, I mean like they could be, you know, in their 20s or something like that, and they're walking around. Sometimes the teenagers too, riding around with, you know, pushing baby stroller, or they got little kids or something, or they're at the park with the kids and stuff like that. And, you know, here they are on their phone and they're not paying attention to their kids. When when these women are putting their attention into a phone, what this means to me is that they really didn't want these kids. They really don't want it. They don't care. If you want your kids, guess what? Then what you do is you pay attention to the kids. You go and you play with them. You know what I'm saying? You push them on a swing. You're not just sitting here, you know, I seen this chick and she was at a park or whatever and she had kids or whatever, but here she was up there taking selfies and stuff and shit or whatever. And she got kids. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? You're not a teenager. You know, you got kids.
Well, I had a green light going to work, right? When you know, they decided to walk out. You know, these women she had like one of them, she was white. She had one of them double strollers, you know, the two, but the two was right next to each other. She had a double stroller. She was carrying a baby. She was texting, and she had 2 extra kids behind her. Okay, so when the light turned green and I was about to take off, the 2 kids that was behind her, she ran out in front of me. Okay, and I was like, yeah, in the street when I was trying to go work, and I was like, oh crap, like I'm so glad that I pay attention for kids, because I know that they like to do that. I know that they like to jump out, you know. But her herself, she didn't even tell them stop, come back here, don't do that, because she was just
On the phone texting.
and that's all it was.
Yeah, and people too, they don't realize. I mean, if you're into social media like that and you're texting and stuff, there's no point in having kids if you're just about that. But people they are also stupid when it comes to they're driving and they decide to text when they drive.
Backwards. That
Yeah,
happened
so
to her.
they'll text and they'll be texting and then they'll be back, put their car in reverse and be, you know, texting and reversing.
Oh man, I'm gonna yell at him so bad. I love yelling at him. I love yelling at him. Pow! What's that?
Yeah, and I really think that people need to really cut down on the texting. I really do.
Yelling and arguing with that dude is not that important.
Yeah, I don't think that it is. I think that you could literally save that until later to throw the fit. Yeah, in the heat of the moment, we're going to say, well, I just want to get my emotions out or whatever. Okay, yeah. But what you do is if you want to text or whatever, what you do is put yourself, just have your car in park, or better yet, turn the motherfucker off, and then go and text and get the whole argument out, texting, whatever, yelling, screaming in the phone and stuff. And then once it's over, then drive the car. And then what you do while you're driving is basically turn the damn phone off while you're driving.
You don't have to put everybody else's lives, children's lives, people's pets in cars lives, you know, people trying to make it to the hospital, some girl in labor. You don't have to put all their lives in danger because you want to yell and holler and scream at some dude who really didn't do nothing.
You know, and for a guy too, you don't have to spend all that time, like if you're at work or something like that, or your girlfriend's yelling at you back and forth or whatever, you're on the phone screaming and shit, and you got a job. Don't risk your job because she wants to sit here and argue with you. Don't do that. You know, don't waste your time. You know, if you got a 30-minute lunch, you ain't got time. You know, or you got a job and you trying to make money and stuff because y'all got to make those bills and stuff. Turn the damn phone off. Yeah, she's going to be mad when we get home. It's been times I've been mad when he's been at work and stuff and we've been arguing. But the thing is you got to turn it off because either you're going to lose your job or something.
Yeah. And that happened to me. Like back when we was Christians. She used to, we argued a lot during that time because we wasn't spiritually on the same level. So, that's what would happen. And eventually I was like, you know what? Because I would notice something. I used to believe that if I handle the argument at work, if I handle the argument on the phone, then I get to have peace at home. That's not the case.
No, it's
you get
not.
the argument at home too. So the thing is that turn the phone off. She gonna be mad, she's gonna be hollering, screaming. Click. I'm gonna go ahead and work. Now, when you get home, you gotta handle one argument. You don't gotta handle two arguments. Just one.
When you get home and you handle an argument too, like by the time you get home, y'all would have probably been cooled off by then. It won't be in the heat of the moment because you get time to think. And that's a good thing. At first, it might seem bad if somebody, does that in the heat of the moment, but then, getting some time, you sit here and think about it and stuff. And after some hours to think about what a person's gone, then you can kind of you mellow out. And then when they come home, you guys will start talking, but you will be in a more calmer tone or whatever.
Now, hear all that stuff she just said? We didn't have kids doing all that. So
didn't.
If she had kids doing all that, the kids would be all in the mix, and they would be reminding you, and you'd be thinking about, oh, this is terrible. Then you're really going to have second thoughts with your relationship.
Yeah, and with the kids, absolutely. And kids do not deserve to see the parents arguing. They don't. People shouldn't be having kids, if they know that they can't see eye to eye on things. If you can't, don't have kids. Don't even get married, if you're arguing back and forth. I'm going to be doing a video on marriage anyway. We've done one on that before, but we're going to do another video on it. Questions and answers about us getting married or something, which is going to be another video I'm going to be making here in a little bit. But the thing I want to stress is that with people who, decide to have kids or whatever, and I think I kind of messed up. For the people who, I'll just go with. For people who decide to have kids, just know that kids are a big responsibility. It's not always going to be something that you're going to be able to handle. With kids, you have to think about this. Okay, so let's say you have a girl and a guy, and with the girl and the guy, here's the thing. If y'all start dating, okay, when y'all going on dates, it's great, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can vibe, whatever, and talk about so much stuff. Okay. But things can go south, if you guys have not talked about something important, which happens to be, let's say you have, the girl wants a baby, the guy doesn't want, he doesn't want kids, okay? Or it could be reversed. You might have a girl, she doesn't want a baby, guy does want a baby. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about that. If you have a mismatch there, that relationship is not going to be going to a good place, especially if a baby pops up, and I think that's something that people need to really start off doing in dating is ask those big questions when you first meet on that, first meeting, then ask the important questions, about kids, about what kind of, what you guys have planned, whether you're trying to have, a relationship, whether you just want to be in the company of somebody or something like that, or whether you're just there to try to get your needs met. Needs getting met might be something where you're just hungry, you want to get some food or something like that, Or another need could be, and the main need that people have, is that, maybe somebody's just meeting somebody because they want to have sex and they want to have sex with somebody and, they think it'll be exciting. And that's what they're meeting for. They're meeting for sex. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's that. And I just think that, if it's like that, it's good to get it out the way and know the reason that you guys have come together and met. The real thing with dating gets crazy when it comes to people and they don't define what they are doing together, and where they're going. Because one person might be there for a relationship. The other person might be there to just get some damn free food or something.
I'm sure a lot of nice guys has been through that.
You
And
know.
then she's texting the guy that she's actually going to be having sex with while you're on a meet and greet with her.
Yeah.
Who's actually going to be having the real date with her.
Yeah, and I think with that, I think that there's a thing that comes up a lot of times where you're gonna have women who are gonna watch this saying, well, the guy, he should be a gentleman and pay for the food, because I'm there, and that's what I've heard, and that's what men are supposed to do. That's the standard they're held to. But I'm gonna say, well, ladies, you watching, I would say, well, if you're meeting a guy that you don't know, why don't you pay for your own food? You got money in your purse. Surely you got money. Why don't you pay for your own stuff so that you don't owe him nothing? It might be something where, you decide maybe you don't like him. But, the thing is that, he may get the wrong impression if you're there and he's paying for everything for you and then he doesn't get anything. So he's going to think, oh, well, if I'm paying for the food, then she's going to, give it up, whether she's going to be, having, vaginal, intercourse, or whether it's going to be anal, intercourse, or, whether, ladies, whether you're going to give the guy, a blowjob, So the thing is you have to be careful, because you can't just assume that the guy is just generally doing it out of the goodness of his heart or something like that. He might be a good guy, but he may have been run over by so many chicks that, he's got it in his head, well, okay, well, if I buy some for her, then, okay, well, she knows the deal that she's going to be giving me something, sexually. And, that's what the guy may go with. Maybe this guy may have had girls tell him that, that, oh, well, if you buy everything, then I'll have sex. And maybe this guy's been told this several times, that he thinks this new girl's the same way. You get a bunch of girls do the same thing, then a guy, the guy's going to naturally think that the next girl's going to do that, unless, until something, is basically talked about. And I think that's what people don't talk a lot about on dates. They don't talk about the serious stuff. They talk about the irrelevant shit, rather than the real stuff. Okay, are you here for a relationship? Yes or no? If you are here for a relationship, do you think we're attracted to each other, or what are their interests? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? People really need to ask the real shit about that. But we'll probably make a video about that anyway. But, of course, this video is about, it's not selfish for someone to have kids, or rather, it's okay not to have kids. And I think that, going back to kids are a big responsibility. Kids are not going to be something where you just have it and then it's going to do whatever you want, because kids are not going to do whatever you want them to do.
That man at home, that man that don't got no spine, that don't got a backbone that you got. You can't do the same tactics on him that you can do on a kid. It's not going to work.
Yeah, because kids, they'll be everywhere. They got too much damn energy, and they're not going to do that. Kids will get into stuff, especially if you don't hear them. If you basically, the kids are right here 1 minute, but then you notice they're gone, and it's silent, and you ain't heard them for a while, they're getting into something.
Let me tell you some stories about why it's okay not to have kids. When I was a kid, I did some things. I still remember. Me and my sister, it was both of us. So you want that boy and a girl, get ready. So my mom would be, she'd leave, go get some groceries. It would be me and my sister in the house. We go in the bathroom, take all the stuff off the floor, put lotion all over the place, and we'd be in there skating like a mug on that lotion in the floor. Then all of a sudden, hear that door, Mom come home? We lock the door quick. Maybe Mom can't get in. Mom comes in, sees all that lotion on the floor. What the f*** you been doing? What the f*** you been doing? Well, I slipped, and I grabbed onto the towel ring. Broke that mug. Well, now she got to put that up and everything else. I mean, your kids is going to do some shit.
Yeah, they going to break some stuff.
They going to break stuff. I remember I used to go over people's houses, and they had kids. before I even got in the houses, I see they blinds is all fucked up. They blinds is all messed up. And I'm telling you, you think that's it? Oh, I want a nice clean floor, man. Okay, walk in the house. Them floors stained up. Walls are drawn. I mean, I had a little cousin. She was like 6 during this time. She would like draw on the walls, and then not only do that, she would rip the wallpaper off. Like the little wallpaper you got underneath the seam of the windows, she would rip that off. It's terrible. But I'm just letting you know that these things happen fast because look, all children do this. Okay, all kids, children do this. When your mouth is moving, you talking a lot. That's not what's gonna. They don't determine what you do by what you say. They look at your eyes, where your eyes look. They look at your hands, what you're touching, what you're doing, and then they come and ask you what you're doing. And they look at your feet a lot. See where your path is going because they're trying to, if they're trying to do something, they're trying to hurry up and get out of the way. So I'm just letting you know that that's what they're paying attention to. Not your mouth. It ain't the words. It's your eyes, your hands, and your feet. That's what they care about, and that's what they're going to be paying attention to. Now, okay, we got what, like 9 minutes?
Keep going.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this real quick. Shell, we're just gonna go back and forth having a conversation about kids. She's gonna act like a parent, like she got kids, and I'm gonna be that person that don't. And she's gonna ask me questions and all that type of stuff, and I'm gonna say my reasons, and then hopefully I'll be good at doing the same thing, and so you can hear her reasons. Okay, ready?
Okay, I'm kind of lost on what we're gonna do, but
it's just gonna be a quick skit.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm the person with the kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, so we're just going to have I don't have any kids.
Why don't you have kids?
Oh, I don't have any kids because, there's some stuff I went through, abuse and things like that. I went through having kids. I know the world is dangerous, and that's just one of the reasons why I don't have kids. I don't think that I was be a good parent, with really having them in this time and age, with the wage and things like that. It's real hard for black people out here.
Oh. Well, don't you want to have a little you running around?
No, I don't want to have little me running around because if I did that, I have to watch these stories on the news where that the cops is killing children and especially black. I'm black, what I'm saying. I gotta worry about these schools getting shot up. I can't have that on me. What I mean. I got women all the time that telling men men got to take responsibility for their kids, and I thought about that, and I was like, what, you right, they right. I got to take responsibility for my kids before they even get here, but they didn't say that, I was 16 at the time, you know what I'm saying? So whenever they were saying that, I was like, okay, so that's what I need to do. But I didn't know what they meant, when the woman was saying that, they meant after they got the guy to have a baby and they just said that to get him to pay child support. But since I wasn't hip to that type of game when I was only 16, what I'm saying, growing up, since I wasn't hip to that type of game, I thought it was, I just need to do whatever I can do to make sure my kid's good.
But how can you not have kids? I mean, my kids are my greatest sense of joy.
Well, when you only have one sense of joy, which is your kids, and you only have one, it's bound to be your greatest sense of joy because that's the only sense of joy that you have. Me, I have all the type. I like fishing. I got all these different senses of joys I have because I'm not stuck with a kid. What I'm saying? Like I never heard a parent say, my greatest sense of joy is going to Chuck E. Cheese with a whole bunch of driving you crazy, right? With a bunch of kids going crazy. The kids is happy. All the kids is all happy, but you going crazy. Trying to make sure your kid don't get hurt. All this type of stuff. Make sure there's not a pedophile there. Somebody kidnap a kid. You got to worry about all this stuff while all your kids happy. But for me, I like fishing. I like horseback riding. I like playing video games. I like hanging out with my friends. I like to do multiple things, and I have those type of senses of joy.
Yeah, but with kids, don't you want to have the ability where you can see your kid at a baseball game and they hit their first home run or something like that? Don't you want to be able to be there when the kid has the great moments and stuff like that, or whatever? Don't you want to be like that? Don't you want to have those great moments where you can see your kid do something great? Like they win a trophy or something or whatever, and you're there, and because you helped them and stuff like that, and that work that you put into them finally paid off. Don't you want to do that?
Well,
don't you want to have that great? Don't you want to be seen as that great parent? And have that great kid? Don't you want to do that?
Well, you know what? I mean, I thought about that stuff first when I said wanted to have kids. I thought about doing that. I thought about, wow, how better would I be at treating my own kid better than my father? But then I gotta realize that, damn, at the age of 8 years old, I was homeless and stuff. I had to knock on doors for ask for food. I was going through all this abuse and stuff, and there was stuff that my parents didn't even know what the fuck was going on, and they were just trying to take care of me. And when I go to try to tell them about it, they say I'm lying or stuff like that. So when I think about those great things, it's like there's so much stuff behind the scenes that you don't even know because you're gonna be at work, or what is the babysitter doing? What is the teachers doing? You don't you never really know what's really gonna happen. But those moments, hey, I'm glad that there's a Facebook. I'm glad that there's a YouTube. I'm glad that there's other social medias from Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Some Snapchat. I got family members that have kids already. You know what I mean? So when they already have kids, I can take a little look. I can take a look. What's going on with them. I can come and visit and experience those great moments too. But we know when those bad moments kick in, I can go home, I can leave, I can go back to sleep, and I can go prepare some business or prepare for some work or go have my different senses of joy that I can have because I don't have kids. You know what I mean? So that's just one of those things that when you take a look at it, they sound great, but realistically, how many moments am I going to have of those when the survival rate for my child is just not that great?
That is something. But I mean, with the world, I mean, it can get better. I mean, it can get better at any point. I mean, there's no perfect time to have kids, but once you have them, I mean, at least you have them and stuff, and then you can watch them grow and develop and stuff. Isn't that important to you?
Well, you know what? Yes, you are absolutely right. There is no perfect time to have a child, but there is a planned time to have a child where you plan it out. It may not be the perfect time, but it is a planned time where actually things that seem like they settle down, where you actually move and you work and you try to find and do your research to find a safe place for your child to actually grow up in. And so that, so hopefully, because all parents want their children to outlive them. You know what I mean? You don't want to be the parent bearing your own child. You want to be the parent, leaving something behind for that child, business or, something great, a good old family heirloom. This has been the family for however many years. Give this to your new wife. Give this to, give these, these, whatever type it is. Give this, bow or this little comb to, your new wife or something like that, or, something like that. For a girl, she might give him, who knows what, she might give him a watch, a grandfather clock, a grandfather watch, or one of those flip ones, what I mean, something like that. But when it comes to, there's no safe for right now, if I keep hearing that there's no safe play and there's no safe time to have a child, then you telling me that that's a bad time, and I need to not be having no kids right now. Even you agreed. If there's no bad time and I can't find a safe place, I don't need to be having that. Like, people, we gotta change the laws first and make it sure that kids are safe first before I'm even going to be doing that, if that's the case.
Well, don't you want to have kids while you're young and healthy and stuff like that, where you can play with your kids and stuff? Don't you want to do that? I mean, you don't want to be some old man having kids, do you?
Well, you know what? There's something about that. I thought about that too. And it's like, no matter what, if my younger years are all not safe, I can't do it. If all my younger years are all years where businesses keep going out of business, cops keep killing us, keep killing black kids, a bunch of schools getting shot up and a lot of the black children are dying, things like that. Children getting snatched up, used for human trafficking or whatever service or whatever else they're being used for. I can't be, and if that's all happening in my years, I still got to have that mentality and have that mental brain to, the smarts to not do such a thing, when they're doing that. But if I do get older, the older a man gets, the more knowledge and the more, I don't know what you would call it, I guess DNA strings or your wealth of knowledge goes into the sperm. So actually, the older you get, it's more like the more you genes and the more you pass on and genius or smarts that you pass on through the child, through your sperm, the older a man gets. So that's actually a benefit for women, if I ever wanted to be a sperm donor at the end of my life, then they would get that wealth, that healthier sperm, that stronger sperm, strand of DNA within the sperm.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue this skit in just a second.